There you go.
Is that better for you?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I think this is the perfect. Are you done with today?
Yeah.
Are you done with today? Because I think episode 4 is the
Okay.
perfect segue for today, because you can get all your frustrations out, because it's all about decisions that you have to make but you don't want to make.
Yeah.
Like coming to record for podcasts while you feel like everything's falling apart.
When nothing but problem after problem, then somebody calls in sick or stays home sick, right?
Yeah.
And I'm dirty and from working. Didn't have time to clean up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a tough one? Should we start with this one? Let's start with this question. Let's start with this one. I like this one. I want you to tell a story of a repair where waiting to do the repair would have made it worse, but acting felt risky.
Waiting to do the repair would make it worse, but asking made it.
Acting, but like acting on the repair felt a little bit risky.
What do you mean acting?
Maybe for the customer, it felt risky, not for you because you're confident in your repairs, right?
No. I mean, I am, but, being a mechanic or a technician, we don't ever expect anything to truly last forever. We know in the customer's mindset, like, they get a repair and it's going to be fixed. And as the technician, that's why technicians are not good on the phone, because we can lay down the laundry list of how things are going to break, why they're going to break, when they're going to break, at what mileage they're going to break. And for us, it's like, it's so frustrating and so stressful, but we have to go based off procedure and do it there's a guidelines for us to go down, test this. Okay. No, fix this, replace this, kind of that nature. And, we just know, for the most part, we can be a pretty good judge of how it's going to last, what it's looking like, what it's going to last like. But there's times where we've done stuff to where it was perfect and it doesn't last. So I don't know, that's a hard one, because you can do everything perfect. And then there's some that are like, that's not going to last, and it lasts another 10 years. So technicians we have it pretty hard. I mean, it's a lot of stress on us. I mean, if you care like I do about the customer, I think of it as, would you let your mom drive in that? One of my mentors, one of my teachers taught me that. He says, Dan, think about it. Would you let your mom or your wife or your kids drive this vehicle? So I try to put everything like that, and that's a hard one sometimes, That worries me. I think that's stressful in itself.
Do you have any stories where a customer, where you like recommended this needs to be done, they said no, and then they came back because they waited, they made the improper or uninformed decision at that time?
I would say there's been multiple times, and I'm trying to recall one where I've said this isn't going to last, and then they're getting a tow back, or they're very upset, and I tried to warn them. So we had one today where it's an older Toyota, and we did a cylinder head gasket on it. I recommended quite a few other things, the rest of the cooling system to keep the engine cool, and she was like, well, no, we're not going to put all that into it. I'm like, just remember, I'm sealing these other little leaks up. It overheats again because we don't finish the cooling system, and it springs another leak, and you warp the head again, and this time it ruins the motor. I just want to give you fair warning, right? So hopefully they understand that, and it doesn't break down. But the components, the rest of the plastic components are 20 years old, and heat has gone, and then it just expands, contracts, expands, contracts, and it's plastic. It doesn't last 20 years,
Yeah. So
but there has been multiple times where I recommended something, they don't do it, and they're either like, okay, let's do it, or they're really upset. And I guess maybe because they don't have the funding to do it, and I understand that. And I'm just the doctor telling you it's wrong. There's nothing more I can do.
You have to choose to eat those vegetables.
Yeah, you have to choose to eat the vegetables and do your maintenance, right?
Vegetables are green, though.
Yeah.
Green doesn't taste good.
Inspections at certain mileage, and that tells us, hey, you know, we need to do this, or we don't need to do this, or we need to. On that list, there's a checklist, and it says inspect, 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 replace, replace, replace at certain intervals. And if everybody were to open
Right.
their,
This is referring back to their owner's manual, right?
Yeah,
the book
referring
that
back-
they don't read ever.
that nobody reads, right? You get a few of them. You get a few of them that are like, and then I'm just like,
You read your book?
"Oh." It's like, oh my God, you're amazing. You understand. So there are some that do that, right? And it's the more experienced ones in life that, well, what do you think about this? What does the maintenance record call for on this? And you're like, huh, nice.
Yeah. But those are the ones who probably can afford a nicer vehicle, especially in today's prices
Yeah.
where they're super expensive.
Yeah.
And they know the investment that they put into that monetarily wise, right? It's
Yeah.
lots of money. And so they want to make sure that they take care of it,
Yes.
you know? Whereas, like for us, when we were back in our broke 20s and young
Yeah.
family, we were just barely like, can I even afford to do an
We
oil
will
change at
fix
this
it
point?
if it breaks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know, I remember, oh my gosh, it was my very first Forerunner. I think it was in 2000. I believe it was a 2000. It wasn't a 1999. I believe it was a 2000. And I
Yeah.
went over 10,000 miles recommended oil change on that thing.
Yeah.
It's like, because I was just barely making the payments on that to keep
Right.
up with it.
Right?
It's an oil change, schmoil change. There's no noises. It's fine.
Yeah. There's oil in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you have some of those, and you know, I mean, looking back, I don't know, was that unwise? Was it an unwise decision to do that? Maybe, but also it was a Toyota,
Yeah.
so you know,
Yeah, I know, right? That's a hard one because Toyotas will do really well.
and that was before synthetic too. I don't think it. I think it had just
Yeah.
regular.
That's a hard one, right? Because you think about it, and we had that one Toyota Tacoma come in, and he had 230,000 miles on it, and he was like, I've never done anything to this but tires and brakes. And he was so excited about that. And that's the one where the timing belt was just about to snap. And the water pump was seized, and the timing belt was so cracked.
Mm-hmm, I remember that was Dad's
And I
truck.
was
The
like,
kid got.
Oh my God, you almost lost the motor, right?
Oh yeah,
And that Tacoma, he's bragging. I'm not trying to be rude, but he's bragging about 230,000 miles. And I'm like, if you did the maintenance on this, it's a 1,000,000-mile motor,
yeah.
and it looks horrible at 230. But
so
it
the
did
decision, so the decision to not maintain normal
Yep.
maintenance on the
You can get,
vehicle,
on
according,
average, right, in a perfect world, to where there's no variabilities, to where if that engine was maintenanced and doing that well, it's a 500,000-mile motor, no problem. From what I've seen with the old cooling system, it's always being overheated and just poor maintenance. It's maybe another 50K on it, but if it was all maintenance throughout its whole life, that's a lifetime vehicle for somebody. I mean,
a Toyota. Heck yeah.